And here we go.
What's up, y'all? It's Monday, and not just any Monday. It's Marvelous Monday. Thank you, Kettle One, another round, another rally, and Portland Cocktail Week for having us again. My name is Fanny. This is Bowie, and this is my marvelous co-host, the one and only Amy Ward.
Thank you, Fanny, and thank you, Bowie. It's very nice to see you all today. Welcome to another Marvelous Monday, everyone. I am super excited today. We have a wonderful guest. Her name is Tanya Clark. She is coming here from San Francisco, California. She is a hospitality vet, but has now made a turn completely into the wellness side. So someone, again, completely after my own heart. She is a certified yoga instructor and a holistic healer and the owner of Jigger and Dash Wellness. Tanya, thank you so much. Tell us what we are going to talk about today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Amy. I'm so excited to be here on this marvelous Monday. Again, I'm in San Francisco and we got so lucky with the weather today. It's like bright and sunny and nice. Before we dive into the material today, I would just like to give you guys all a background of myself and where I'm coming from. I moved to San Francisco and coached college basketball for 6 years. And then I transitioned from that to becoming a yoga instructor, which is really awesome, and I love it. And during that time, I was behind the stick bartending, and that was my first love. That was truly my first love. And I just noticed a real need for life and balance, and that's what Jigger and Dash has always, that's what we've always. I'm going to use the word preached, but that's what we always say. It's just like live your life in balance. And I'm really lucky to be surrounded by so many wonderful individuals, wonderful women that assist and aid me in Jigger and Dash. And, we focus on fitness, finances, nutrition, and mental and emotional health, which I think is probably the most important thing, especially being in our industry. And so I'm just really excited to share a little bit of knowledge with you all about meditation and moderation, and a little bit about essential oils, because those can play a really great part in your meditation practice. So let's dive right into this marvelous Monday. I'm so excited. Cool. So I think meditation can get a bad rap. I think there's like a myth of meditation where people think, well, I'm just sitting here thinking about nothing, where it's kind of the opposite. You become more aware of where you are, who you are, how you're breathing in your surroundings. And so I want to share just a general definition of what meditation is. So it's a practice where an individual uses a technique to train attention and awareness and achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state. So that is just like the true form of meditation. And so what meditation does for you is make you calm. And with so many industry professionals behind the stick or front of house, back of house, there's just so many things going on at a time. You're firing on all cylinders for hours and hours and hours at a time. And so that brings so many shocks to your nervous system. And so what meditation can do, and what it does, is it can help your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. So your sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight, right? And then your parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest. And today I will be talking about 3 forms of meditation that I think would suit my fellow industry professionals best. And we'll dive right into those 3 methods of meditation. Oh, and you guys, at the tail end of this class, I will guide you through a meditation, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And so if you've never meditated before, then I'm going to burst that bubble for you today. So our first method of meditation is all about mindfulness. And you're like, what the heck? Like, what is mindfulness? It's being mindful of your thoughts and mindful of focus. And so in this meditation, you basically when you set up for your meditation, you start to close your eyes, you make sure you're in a comfortable position, right? So if sitting on your knees and you have really bad knees isn't comfortable for you, you can lie down or you can sit cross-legged. I always like to sit up on a pillow to elevate my hips, because elevating the hips brings a little bit of pressure off of the low back. So I know a lot of my bartender friends have low back issues. Like, how many times have you just been leaning over the bar top and just talking to guests and talking to people, you know, the pre-COVID life, and you're just kind of leaning over, and you can develop really bad back issues, especially low back issues. And so when you're setting up for your meditation practice, I really suggest finding something that's super, super comfortable for you, where you can sit. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part, is just sitting down or lying down and being still. For us in the industry, you know, having so many things run through our mind when we are working, and maybe when we're not working, you know, we carry work home with us sometimes. It's like, oh crap, I forgot to fill that guy's water. Oh my gosh, I forgot to get this guy his beer. There's so many things going on. You know, making sure you're comfortable before you start your meditation is extremely important. So, in mindfulness meditation, when you come into this meditative state, you want to think of something that makes you really happy, like something that brings you a lot of joy. That can be an image, it can be a color, it could be a loved one, just something that makes you feel happy, makes you feel calm, basically makes you feel anything opposite than rushed or stressed out. So in that mindfulness meditation, you can think of like a color rushing over you. So say your favorite color is gold or silver or pink or blue, right? You can have any favorite color you'd like. And you just imagine that color rushing over you from the crown of your head all the way into your shoulders, all the way down into your toes. And you feel that rushing sensation of that color, and you feel how, you know, excited or happy that can make you. So I love using the mindfulness meditation technique, especially for individuals whose mind is kind of always racing, right? Meditation isn't about, okay, my mind is completely blank of everything. It's about acknowledging those rushing thoughts and then just letting them go. You acknowledge the thought and you let it pass by. And so in my meditation practice, I always think of a burning flame. So in my mindfulness meditation practice, I think of a burning flame. So I'm closing my eyes and I see this really bright flame in front of me, and it's bright. It's like I can reach out and touch it. And I'm focusing on it, and that's all I focus on. And then when another thought comes in my head of work, or, oh my gosh, I have to send this email, or, oh my gosh, my to-do list is so long, and I see that thought, right? That thought's in my head, and I let it pass through the fire. So it passes through the fire, and the fire gets dim. And then I refocus on that flame, and then it brightens up again. So you're being mindful of your thoughts, and you're focusing on that image and trying to keep that image as clear as possible, but welcoming any outside thoughts that might come into your brain, because that happens, right? So that is our first method of meditation, which is called mindfulness meditation. Yeah, so I really like the mindfulness meditation. It's probably one of my favorites. So the second form of meditation that I want to share with you guys is called breath meditation. So breath meditation, there's really not a lot to explain there. It's counting your breath. And I love this sort of meditation for our industry, because this is something you can do a couple of moments when you're standing at the POS. You can close your eyes and just do a couple of deep breaths in and out of the nose, and then you're back. Right? Your sympathetic nervous system, it just starts to slow back down, and you're ready to go. And so breath meditation, you basically close your eyes, you settle in, and then you start to count your breath. So you usually breathe in through the nose and out of the nose, But sometimes that can be a little uncomfortable if you're sick or you have allergies and you're like, why is all this snot? Like, I don't want to just everywhere when I'm breathing. And so you can definitely breathe in through your nose and out of your mouth. But the more traditional way for breath meditation is in through the nose and out of the nose. And this, I love this form of meditation, especially, if you have a couple of moments before you start your shift. Take some time behind the bar when nobody's there, you don't have any guests, right? You don't have any servers asking you the specs of something, of the new cocktail that you came up with. You're just there in your space, in your element, and you take those deep breaths. And maybe just set a timer for a minute. Start slow or start small, and then till your way up the ladder. Eventually getting up to 5 minutes of a seated meditation when you're not at work. And I know 5 minutes sounds like a long time, right? Sounds like a long time to be still. You're like, you want me to be still for 5 minutes, but you'll reap the benefits after that 5 minutes. Or, you start with 2 minutes, and then every time you meditate, maybe add 30 seconds or add 15 seconds and see, how much longer after your timer goes off that you can sit still and focus on your breath. And so breath meditation is a form of meditation that you can definitely carry with you, to your workplace. The last form of meditation I want to talk about is awareness. So usually awareness meditation is guided, but you can definitely do awareness meditation on your own. So what awareness meditation does, it makes you aware. It makes you aware of the state that you're in. So you ask these questions to yourself while you're sitting there or you're lying down, and you say, am I cold? Am I hot? Are my shoulders tight? Are they not? You start to become aware of parts of your body, parts of your being, and the elements around you. Am I sleepy right now? Do I have a lot of energy? And so you start to become aware of yourself and how you're feeling, and you invite that internally. And so I find awareness meditation can be really beneficial for especially hospitality industry professionals, because your mind is active. Your mind is active here because you're asking yourself those questions and you're being made aware of, are my feet achy? Are they not achy? Are my hands dry? Are they not dry? So you just become hyper aware of your senses and where you're at. So those are the 3 forms of meditation that I chose to talk about today when it comes to our industry, because I think those 3 can be really beneficial, especially for the way our minds work. There are a couple of meditation apps that can help with guided meditation and can really kickstart your own meditation process. Calm, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Calm, and Headspace. I really like Calm. Calm's probably my fave, but Headspace is a good one as well. So if you're like, I'm kind of stuck as to like, how do I even start meditating, or how do I begin? And I think the hardest step in anything is starting, right? You have to take those first steps to get toward a goal. And when we have our table talks or our workshops about we call it financial fitness. And we have somebody that was former industry who now works for Credit Karma come in and lead a class on like financial wellness. I just lost my thought. Why did I bring that up? Goodness, I have so many, like right now, I have so many thoughts going on in my head. Anyways, we'll come back to that. But Calm and Headspace are 2 great apps to use for guided meditation. Oh, now I remember. You have to start somewhere, right? And so when Sarah Brady conducts her financial classes for us, she's like, start small. Make small goals, and then you build upon those goals to, I want to buy a house in 5 years. Cool. Well, what are the steps you're going to get there? Be very clear about those steps and, meet those goals. Think about that with your meditation practice. You know, I think after this class, we're going to share a review of this class, and here are some steps right here to start your meditation practice. And whether that's for 30 seconds, whether that's for a minute, or maybe you want to start big and go for the 5 minutes, but I suggest starting really small and then kind of like taking those little baby steps toward a longer meditation practice. And I promise you guys, you will definitely see a change in your attitude, in the way you can become more aware in your meditation and your breath work in general. Cool. So moving on, and don't you worry, because like I said in the beginning, we will be meditating at the end of this class. So I know you guys are super excited for that. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is essential oils. So I taught a class at Portland Cocktail Week a few years ago on essential oil blending. And there are a lot of misconceptions of essential oils and how to use them. One major thing I want to stress: do not ingest essential oils. Don't do it.
Don't eat the bath salts. Don't eat the essential oils. Got it. Okay. On it.
Yes.
Heard. Got it.
Do not put those. Don't put it in your mouth. So I mean, and, there's a lot of misconceptions about essential oils and their uses, and there's just a lot of things out there. But one tip I give to you is please don't ingest them. They're volatile substances, and so they could do a lot of damage to your stomach lining. And if you were to ingest one and maybe you didn't know you were allergic to that oil, that scent, it could cause rashes and just a lot of damage internally and externally. So please do not ingest the essential oils. Cool, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Awesome.
They're not oil for cooking, so don't do it.
So essential oils are great. Scent is one of the most powerful senses that we have. So scent is very powerful. It's like scent can bring you back to a memory, a time. It can be so nostalgic, and it can also be really calming. And it can also stir up emotions like happiness or maybe anger. It can stir up a lot of things. Scent is so powerful. And so linking this back to your meditation practice, you could use essential oils safely, which I'm going to demonstrate in just a moment. You can use them safely in your meditation practice to help with calming your nervous system down. What I want to point out first is how are essential oils made, and what even are they? What is life? What are essential oils? Right? How are they? What's going on? And so I have a little diagram for you that I think we're going to put up about a distillation process. And I know many of you know what a distillation process is. So basically you have, there it is. Yes, thank you, Leo. So the distillation process, you have a vessel, right? You have water underneath, and then you have like a net above the water and the essential oils on top. Yep, that diagram is literally perfect. And then the steam and the vapor go down the coil, and that coil is cooled. So that's like a cooled coil. And at the end of that coil, the water and the essential oil come down in that last part at the very end. And oil is more dense than water. So the oil will sit on top, and then the water will come on the bottom, and then on the left you'll have fragrant water, which you can just toss, or you can put it in your plants if you don't want to throw it away for waste. And then the essential oil sits on top and the water is on the bottom. And the easiest way to separate those two things is freezing it. So you have a container with the water from the bottom, right, from the distillation process, water on the bottom, oil on the top. You freeze that the container, whatever you've used to put the essential oil in the water in, you freeze it. The water freezes on the bottom and the oil doesn't. And it's just on top. And then you just pour the oil out in a vessel, and you got your essential oil. And it's pure plant oil. It's pure essential oil. Now, you can makeshift your own little distillation process if you want to try to make your own essential oils, or they actually sell essential oil distillation kits that you can buy. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon, but you can actually buy a kit and make your own. I've actually never made my own essential oils before. I think that would be a really cool and interesting process, but that's how they're made. It's a distillation process with whatever plant material that you want to use: rosemary, lemongrass, lavender. So there's a plethora of plant material that you can use to make your own essential oils, or you can buy your own essential oils, right? Just make sure they're 100% pure essential oils. Some companies like to sneak other ingredients in there, God knows why, but make sure they're nice and pure essential oils. So that's how it's made, right? That's how the essential oils are made.
Is there something we should be looking for? Like if we are looking for the 100% essential oil, what is some of the things they might try to sneak into an essential oil that we want to like?
Just like different chemicals you can't pronounce.
Okay. Same with the food label. If you can't pronounce it, shuck it off to the side.
Exactly. Just like you'd pick out like your food. If you can't pronounce it, then, if you can't pronounce it, then maybe not get it, or maybe get it and indulge a little bit. Yes. But with your essential oils, they like to sneak, different chemicals in there to make it more full.
Mm-hmm.
So just be aware of that, and just make sure it says pure EO. So pure, 100% pure EO, 100% pure essential oils.
Okay.
Good question. All right, and then so aroma. I'm sure many of you have heard this word, aromatherapy. Like, what the heck is aromatherapy? Like aromatherapy candles, aromatherapy, this and that. So I wanted just to give a brief definition of what aromatherapy is. I have oil diffusers like all around my house, and like I love coming home and like just smelling like orange. I love orange for some reason. Like, it's just citrus and it's bright and like it makes me happy, and it reminds me of like sunny days. So oil diffusers are wonderful. So you can, if you don't know what an oil diffuser is, or you've never used one, it's basically a circular, I guess it can come in different shapes. It's basically a vessel where you put water and essential oils and you mix it up, and then you turn it on, and then it's just steam. So it's the steam and the essential oil. So it makes your place or wherever you're at smell really, really nice. And it can also, be really calming if you use like lavender and rosemary, or it can be, kind of energizing if you're using more citrus forward essential oils like orange and lemon. So aromatherapy is basically the usage of aromatic materials, including essential oils, to improve psychological and physical well-being. That's what aromatherapy is. And, there can be a little bit of a placebo effect for sure when using these essential oils, but it's all relative. Now, I want to talk about how to properly use these essential oils. And again, after the class, we're going to share with you a review guide. So if you're not vigorously taking notes, which I'm sure all of you are, but if you're not vigorously taking notes, then you'll have a review guide on the entire class. So you can always reference back to, like, what was that dilution rate, or like, what was that medication? So you'll have a review guide. So to properly use these essential oils, you have to get a carrier oil. So we'll pop up a list of some of my favorite carrier oils. Yes, thank you. I have almond oil with me. Almond oil I freaking love because it absorbs so easily in your skin. So a carrier oil carries the oil into your skin, right? So I know earlier I said do not ingest the essential oil. And another tidbit, don't put essential oils that aren't mixed in a carrier oil onto your skin. Yes, if it's a very small amount, you might not have a reaction, but like I said before, the essential oils are so volatile that you just don't know how they're going to react in its purest form. And so that's why we have carrier oils. So the carrier oil carries the oil into your skin. And so I have a list of my 5 favorites, so I'll just briefly go over those. Jojoba oil, it is antifungal and it mimics human oil secretions of the skin. So that oil just really seeps into the skin and it's really easy to use, whether you have dry skin or oily skin. Olive oil, non-greasy, can be used on any hair or skin type. So olive oil is a great carrier oil. Argan oil is great for anti-aging and stretch marks. I swear by argan oil. I love it. Coconut oil. So when we think of coconut oil, we think of like that big jar, right? We get like at the Costco, that big jar of coconut oil that we use for cooking. When you're picking up coconut oil to use to carry your essential oil, get fractionated coconut oil. So fractionated coconut oil is already broken down into the liquid. You don't have to, I've honestly never melted coconut oil and then put it on my skin. And so I can only attest to the fractionated coconut oil that comes in the liquid form for your carrier oils, for your essential oils. And then the last one, again, almond oil. Freaking love this stuff. Almond oil, it's great for those of you with sensitive skin. So people with eczema or really sensitive skin, if you use like scented lotions and your skin like has a rash or you start to break out, almond oil is great because it's so awesome for sensitive skin. It's enriched with vitamin E and it absorbs really, really, really easily into your skin. So I'm going to make a little essential oil blend just for demonstration. So right here, I have a 15 milliliter, I have a 25 milliliter bottle, okay? And then I have my almond oil, and then I'm going to mix lavender and eucalyptus today for like a calming blend for essential oils. So before I start, I want to talk about the dilution rates. You don't want to under dilute your essential oil. So the dilution rate for your essential oils is basically 1 teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters of carrier oil, boom, right here, which is my almond oil, per 1 drop of essential oil, either my lavender or my eucalyptus. That equals 1% dilution. Right. I had when I first taught this class, I had to like say that over and over in my head because I'm like completely dyslexic, and and I had to like read it like 5 times to get all the numbers right. But basically, 1 teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters of carrier oil, to just 1 drop of essential oil is a 1% dilution. So that tells you how strong these freaking essential oils are. They're so strong, and we don't need a lot. And so for our blend today, we're going to do 25 drops of essential oil. That will give me a 5% dilution because this is a 25 milliliter little bottle here. So what you would do is I'm just going to use one of my jiggers that I have and pour some almond oil in there. And before you pour the almond oil in, you can add your essential oil. So when you're doing a blend, you can do 50-50. I've taught so many of these essential oil classes, and people love, 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 love to blend them. So you can always blend them if you'd like, but just make sure you don't go over like those 25 drops. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I love the smell of eucalyptus, or oh my gosh, I love the smell of rosemary, then you can do all 25 drops of one or the other. So you get your little dropper and you put it in your first essential oil. And ideally you'd have separate droppers for your essential oil. So you'd have 1 dropper for this and then 1 dropper for your eucalyptus. Or you can clean the dropper before you dip it into the other one. So I'm just going to do 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of my lavender, and I'm just going to break the rule a little bit and double dip into my eucalyptus, and I'm just going to do 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cool. So now we have 25 drops in our little bottle here, okay? And now you're just going to fill this little bottle with your almond oil. You always want to put the essential oils in first, so it'll mix better. So we just pour that right in here.
Do the essential oils come with dashers on them, or do you have to use the droppers? And are you using like a standard like plastic pipette, like sciencey type? Fanny can help me because she was a scientist before she was a bartender.
Totally. I'm using like a science pipette.
Okay.
So the essential oils will not come with this. Will not come with a dropper.
Okay.
They'll come like the tops are more of like it's like a little hole in the top, and then you can it's like a dasher.
Okay.
It's like a Japanese dasher. So they come with like the little dashers on top, but you have to buy these separately, or you have to get these separately. Good question. And so after you're all done pouring your here it is. Pouring your carrier oil on top of your essential oils, you just close your vessel and then shake it up. And now you have an essential oil blend. And this essential oil blend, you can use it during your meditation. You can use it after your shift. Like I know when I used to bartend, my hands would get so dry and cracked because our hands are in water all the time.
Yeah.
And you get home, you're like, oh my gosh, why do I look like a skeleton with my hands so crazy? And so this essential oil, but especially with this almond oil, because it has so much vitamin E, it's really moisturizing. You can do hand wraps. So if you have like an old pair of gloves, you slather this stuff on. It's going to smell good. Your hands are going to feel good after, and then you slide gloves on your hands and just let that essential oil blend and that carrier oil marinate in your hands. You can even, if you want to sleep with gloves on, you can sleep with gloves on overnight, and in the morning, you guys, you have like brand new magic hands, like they're ready to go. So there are multiple uses for this. In your meditation, you can massage this in the temples. I like to massage in the temples and then right here on the forehead down to my nose. So like I'll start like, this feels nice, and then I'll come here, and then I'll come back up, and then go down to my nose, and then just tap it on my nose, and then start my meditation practice. You can also use your blend for like a foot wrap. Like I have like crazy, you can't see them right now, but my heels are like not great, especially during the winter time. Like my heels get a little cracked. You can use this oil, slather it on your feet, focus on your heels, put some big socks on, and like, you know, if you have a day off and like you're like, I'm going to self-care myself all day today. So you can use this, right? Put your gloves on, put your socks on, do a little meditation, and you walk around in your gloves and your socks for hours, and then you take them off, you're like, boom, wow, my feet are great, my hands feel great, I'm relaxed, this is awesome. So those are a couple of ways you can use this. One other way I like to use my essential oil blend, I put it on my shower head. Sounds weird, but not really, because it's like a spa experience. So you put it on your shower head, and you turn your shower on, you're like, dang, where am I right now? Did I get transported into a spa? But it's just a bathroom, right? So you can use this on your shower head. That's one of my favorite ways to use my essential oil blend, especially like after like a long night on your feet, and you're tired, and you're like, let me just wash all of like the citrus off of me, and you know, get like nice and clean. Put this on your shower head, and I'm telling you, it will elevate your shower experience. It's really, really awesome. So again, you guys, at the end of this class, we will share that review guide, and the dilution rate will be in that guide. And the list of my favorite carrier oils will be in that guide. And then also how to use your essential oil blend if and when you decide to use them. They're a little addicting, so you might get a little carried away. Like I can tell you how many oils I have, like it's insane. One other thing I wanted to share is this book. So Jeannie Rose wrote this aromatherapy book. This is what it looks like. There it is. And she's actually a San Francisco native. So she wrote this wonderful aromatherapy book, and it's like chocked full of information. Her name is Jeannie Rose, and it's called the Aromatherapy Book. And it has so many good ways to use the essential oils and just like tips and tricks and like this book has like almost every essential oil you could think of, like what it does and how it can help with you with your mental and physical well-being. Like this book is awesome. I reference this book all the time. And like being like, a healer and a yoga instructor, I'm always trying to expand my knowledge in these things to further educate my community and my industry, because I think these things will just help in longevity in our careers. And I really hope you guys I hope you guys walk away with some good little nuggets to plant in your head.
Nice.
So moderation. So I think with moderation, the word moderation, especially in our industry, can definitely relate to alcohol, right? I need to moderate my drinking. But moderation doesn't always have to be about alcohol or a substance. Moderation can be about your time and your energy. As service industry professionals, we are giving our energy away day in and day out. We are constantly outputting. Output, firing on all cylinders for hours and hours at a time. And so I think that bringing that word moderation, not just in a sense of substance consumption, can really change your perspective as to how you view your time. So I always like to say time is our biggest asset. It's something that we all have, and we never get that time back. And so I appreciate all of you that are watching. I appreciate Amy and Fanny for being here to facilitate this, because they're taking time out of their day to be here because it's something that they care about. And so when you think of moderation, think of time, right? Moderate your time. Protect your time, because it's yours and it's your asset. You have 24 hours in a day, and if you spend 6 to 8 hours a day serving others, you need to make time for you. So that can mean creating new rituals for yourself. I'll share one ritual that I just recently started doing myself, and it's kind of helped a lot to shape the rest of my day. So with Jigger and Dash, I started Jigger and Dash almost 3 years ago now. I'm also an operating owner and partner in a string of yoga studios in San Francisco called Moxie Yoga and Fitness. And so I own and operate that, and then I own and operate Jigger and Dash, and that's a lot. That's a lot of energy. Actually, today we're opening another studio in the Noe Valley neighborhood, and I'm teaching later on tonight the first class in that space. So I'm like a little nervous, but also very excited. And it's just like, it's yours, right? You want people to like it. You want people, to come and enjoy. And especially in these times of the pandemic, I think it's really important to have some sense of community and people around you in some way, to have a sense of normalcy. Anyways, so one of the rituals that I've started is getting up earlier than I'm supposed to. I know when I was bartending, it was like that rinse and repeat. I was like, all right, I get up at noon, 1. get something to eat, get ready for work or do my thing, and then go to work and then be there until like 2 a.m. and then boom, repeat the next day. I'd have a day off. Oh, sweet. I'm just going to like chill in my bed and like, binge Netflix because I think that's what I want to do. And so it's that rinse and repeat that I think we can get stuck in that, and we're not creating new rituals with our time or habits with our time, and that's why we won't grow. And so I notice myself, I'm not growing within myself, I'm not growing within my career. There's no growth there because I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is what? Insanity, right? When you keep doing something over and over again and you expect different results, you have to do things differently to get different results. So one of the habits that I have picked up in one of my rituals is I've been getting up earlier than I have to get up. And so if I have to teach a class at like 8:30 a.m., right? Normally I get up at like 7:30, like get ready to go and leave. Or if I'm teaching like online, like virtual classes, which I've been doing for the last 8 months, I'll get up like half an hour before I have to teach and like just like get my clothes on, set my camera and get ready to go. But I've noticed in the last week, because I started this last week, that I'm getting up at like 6 a.m., right? So I'm getting up at like 6 a.m. and like making tea, writing my to-do list, maybe answering emails, but really taking that time to start the day. And so throughout the rest of my day, I don't feel rushed. And that sense of feeling rushed and like, oh my gosh, I have all of these things to do. I have to get here at this time. I'm so behind. I'm always running late. But if you start your day with a sense of a habit, or if you start your day with a ritual or a habit, that's going to kind of set the tone for your day. When I get up rushed in the morning, I'm like, oh shoot, I have to teach in like 20 minutes. Like, what is wrong? Why did I snooze like 8 times when I knew I had to be up? Like, I know y'all have done that. Like, what? So instead of, and then that feeling is, I carry that feeling with me all day. Like, I hate being late, but I'll run late, or I won't look at my calendar and I'll miss a meeting. And so it's creating those habits and rituals, whether that's in the morning time, start your day, which I find it best for me. But I always like to say, it's what's best for you and your body and your mind and your temperament and how you are in that moment and how you are in that day. And so if ritual building doesn't work for you in the morning, maybe try it in the evening. Or maybe try it when you do wake up. It doesn't have to be at 6 a.m. If you wake up at 10 a.m., cool. Start a ritual at 10 a.m., right? If you're used to waking up at noon and you're like, how come I can't find time to like go to the gym? Or how come I can't find time to like, do things that you really like to do? Maybe try starting your day a little bit earlier and write not just a to-do list, but a goal list for yourself that doesn't relate to work. Like my goal, for example, like my goal today is to walk around my block and, maybe run into somebody. Or my goal today is to take a bike ride, or just something that you really like doing. Or maybe it's reading, and put that on your goal list for the day. And, try to check it off. Your mind is so powerful. When your mind says a little check mark, it's like, ooh, that feels good. Like I just got something accomplished, and you want to continue to do those things, especially if it's making you feel better. I did a 2-week challenge, an industry 2-week challenge. We had like 20 participants, and it was 2 weeks. Every day, the group had something. It was like yoga, and then like meditation, and then like a HIIT workout, and then like a cooking class or whatever it was. We had 2 weeks of that, and they created these habits, at these certain times. And it was so refreshing to see the faces, even though it was on a screen. But they're like, oh my gosh, Tanya, I'm getting up at like 9 a.m. Like I've never gotten up at 9 a.m. And they're looking forward to these new habits and rituals that they have created, which I think for Jigger and Dash is just, for as far as like, our, what we stand for, and kind of like what Jigger and Dash embodies is that life in balance is like, wow, I feel like I am living a more balanced lifestyle because I'm incorporating X, Y, and Z. And I didn't think I was going to be able to, but I'm doing it because I have support, I have community, and I just have the gumption to like get my butt up and like do the darn thing. Mm-hmm. So, be moderate with your time, and don't be too hard on yourself. Another part of moderation I want to talk about is moderation with energy. You can't pour from an empty kettle, right? Or you're going to get burned. The fire's underneath you. It's constantly burning. Burn, 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 burn. And you're pouring out of your kettle, right? And so once that kettle is dry, what are you going to have left to pour out, right? What energy do you have left to pour out into your job, to yourself? So I would, if you leave with one thing today, leave with protect your energy. Say no. Say no to things, right? Sometimes it's really hard to say no, to friends or to family. Just say no, right? Especially in the service industry, you're always on, being hospitable, juggling many things and thoughts at once. Protect your energy and find ways to fill your tank. Like what's going to make you feel fulfilled? Meditation, walks, therapy, taking like a few deep breaths at the POS during a busy Saturday night. Those few breaths can have a big impact on the way you interact with people throughout your shift and throughout your life. Breath is so powerful. Like I said in the beginning, breath is life. And so if you can find a way to protect your energy and, replenish through a meditation or replenish through a boxing class or replenish your kettle, right? Fill up your kettle with some more water so you don't get burned, then it's not going to be as hard to recover from, having an empty kettle. So always keep your kettle filled with good things.
So going back to the learning how to say no portion of it, what kind of advice do you have for people who are, much like a lot of people in our industry, have a severe case of FOMO that they cannot get, and they're desperately worried about what they might miss out on should they not say yes to something?
I love that question, Amy. FOMO. Fear of missing out on all of the cool things that are happening. I think that, if you want to go do this, I feel like there's a difference, right? There's a want, like I want to spend time with my friends. I want to do these things. And then there's social pressure. I feel socially pressured to, take a cheeky at the end of the night. I feel socially pressured to do all of these things. I think there's a difference. So you have to first decipher, is this what I really want to do? Or is this the social pressure that is pushing me to do that? Whether that's going out or drinking or whatever it might be, right? So first, that has to be like you have to decipher those two things. And then if it's like, I don't want to do this and it's more social pressure, you really have to, take a step back and maybe say, tonight, like, I think I'm just going to protect my energy tonight. I'm just going to like head home and, I'll catch up with you guys next week. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. And I think, what I said earlier in this class is like taking those little baby steps, right? Not necessarily to say no to everything, but really moderating and protecting your time and energy with picking and choosing. And I think the way to start that is to differentiate whether you really, really want to do this, or do I feel socially pressured because so-and-so is going to be there, or, this is going to be there, or, you know what I mean? So it's differentiating between those two things. And then, just say no. Sorry, can't do this tonight because I don't want to. Or, you have to get up early in the morning the next day, or you're just drained and you're tired. And, even though so-and-so is going to be at this event, or so-and-so is going to be at this bar, or, you just want to be around people. But I feel like sometimes people don't understand that even when you're just around your friends or people, you're still emanating energy. So if you work an 8-hour shift or a 6-hour shift, and then you go out, right, And then the next morning, like, fuck, I'm tired, sorry. Freak, I'm tired. Why didn't I just go home and sleep because I was so tired after my shift? It's like you're expending even more energy after you get off of your shift, or when you're done working and you're going out, because you have that sense of, I might miss out on something really cool. But your body speaks a lot. And so listen to your body, listen to your mind, and live that life in balance and moderate how you spend your time. Did that answer your question, Amy?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people in our industry tend to have an issue saying no. Hopefully not right now, because they want to stay safe and not get that corona. So like that's a huge thing. But I think it's really important for everybody in our industry to feel empowered to say no and to be more selective of, like, that swag is always going to be there. I promise you. It's not something you probably don't have 10 of already anyways. Right. So just continuing to echo how important that is for people in our industry to chill out, say no, be okay saying no. There will be other opportunities.
And I also think, just to continue that conversation, Amy, not feeling bad about it, not feeling bad about not going out. And I think that's a big part of it too. It's like, I'm not going to be accepted by my community if I don't do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be accepted by my community if, I don't freaking rage, or, if I don't take the cheeky at the end of the night. Like, I'm not going to be accepted. And that's where creating new habits can come into play, right? Like, instead of maybe taking a cheeky of, your favorite spirit at the end of the night, maybe you take a cheeky of grapefruit juice or orange juice. Maybe that's a habit that you can start doing, as a team. So nobody feels left out and nobody feels pressured to do something that they may not want to do. So I think and I think it starts from the top.
Yeah.
And creating those rituals and habits, it starts from the top, the owner, the bar manager, it starts at the top. And I think that sets the tone of the culture in the space. And so, just be okay with saying no, and it's okay. And it's okay, you're not alone. And I think that's one of the main things that we don't want to feel is alone.
Absolutely.
And then the last thing I have for you guys is just the last thing about moderation with substances. Like, find a new habit with friends, coworkers, like when closing up, and like I just mentioned, instead of taking that cheeky of Fernet or Kettle One, take a cheeky, of OJ that might go to waste. Like, oh, this OJ's been in the fridge for a few days. I'll throw that away. No, let's save that for like staff cheekies. If you're just going to throw it away. Life is about balance. Make small goals each day, and tell other people about your small goals. So you're more likely to commit to your goals if you tell somebody else about it. And they'll hold that sense of accountability. And so if I'm like, oh, I really want to, ride 10 miles this week on my bike. And then I like text Amy. I'm like, Amy, I'm gonna ride 10 miles a week on my bike. And I'm like, Fanny, guess what? Girl, I'm gonna ride 10 miles a week on my bike, right? And so I text you guys that, right? And then like midweek, Fanny checks and she's like, hey T, like, how many miles have you ridden? And then like I have to answer to her, right? Mm-hmm. And she's my friend, and I don't want to let her down. And so I was like, oh, you know what? I actually haven't ridden yet. Thank you so much for reminding me. And then I'll ride my bike. And so the more people you can tell about your goals, even the smallest goal it might be, then you're over 50% more likely to do it. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to let that other person down. It's because
also, it's like a good influence for other people too. Like if they see you doing it and it's a daily goal of yours, they'll be like more inclined to, oh, I want to change my ritual to be doing that as well.
Yes, totally. I love that. All right, you guys. So after talking about that moderation portion, it is time to meditate. So to close out this class, we are going to do a 2-minute meditation. Okay. So I'm going to set a little timer for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to ring a little bell when it's time for you guys to wake up out of your meditation. And we're going to do mindfulness meditation today. So find a comfortable seat, or you can lie down. You can't see it, but I'm sitting down on a pillow. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on your heels. We'll get set up first, and then we'll start the meditation. So close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, keep a soft gaze toward the tip of your nose. So all of you guys that are watching, I want you to join in this 2-minute meditation with Amy, Fanny, and I. Allow your palms to rest up or down. If you're ready to receive today, palms up. If you want to stay grounded today, palms down. And then take an open mouth exhale. Take a big breath in. Hold your breath at the very peak. And then open mouth, let it go. And then find a breath cycle that suits you best. And then I want you to think of an image, a color, something that brings you joy, happiness, or something that might make you feel calm. Imagine it's right in front of you. Imagine like you can reach out and touch it. Now with every inhale that you take, see that image even more clear. Notice if you're clenching the jaw. Notice if the tongue is glued to the roof of the mouth. If it is, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Soften the space between the eyebrows. And focus on your image. You might notice thoughts of the day, thoughts of the evening, rolling around in your mind. That's okay. Acknowledge those thoughts and let it pass through that image. Now that image might become dim, but focus on that image so it becomes brighter, or that color, or whatever it is that you see right in front of you. Relax your shoulders and breathe. Feel the rise and fall of your belly. Feel your heartbeat. Keeping that image clear as day. If your tongue has found the roof of your mouth again, release it. That's a sign of stress. You guys can come out of your meditation. So that was 2 minutes of meditation. I hope you leave this class feeling refreshed, feeling like you learned a few things about meditation and moderation, and maybe a little bit of essential oils. You can follow me on Instagram at Jigger and Dash. At the end of this month, we'll be hosting industry yoga on the patio at Mission Bowling in San Francisco. All that information is on my Instagram. If you guys do live in the Bay Area, you can always come visit me at Moxie. But I appreciate every single one of you. And Fanny, Amy, thank you so much for being here as hosts. Y'all are so awesome. And if you need any resources, you can always check out jiggerandash.com. I work with some amazing women that help me facilitate these classes. I don't claim to know everything, and so I have these wonderful women that put on workshops about finances and emotional, mental well-being, and so they're always there to help, and I'm always here to help. If you need motivation, or if you need just ideas on where to start and how to start, just reach out to me, and I'd be so elated to, give whatever, knowledge I have onto you.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And we did have a question come through towards the end. on your Instagram, do you have resources for people who are trying to potentially start meditate while trying to cope with COVID and quarantine right now? And if we don't already have it up there, would you be willing to take questions from people that do want to figure out how to approach that?
Totally, yes. I don't have anything on my Instagram about, as far as like posts and stuff about meditation and coping with COVID. But I wouldn't mind putting more content up and out on my social media. Simple breath exercises that we can do every morning. So that's definitely some content I will put on my Instagram so you all can find it and start somewhere.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Tanya. We really appreciate you being here today. Fanny, I'm turn it over to you.
Awesome. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out to join us for another Monday of Marvelousness. Thank you so much, Tanya, for showing us how to moderate and meditate marvelously. Thank you, Amy, Kettle One, Another Round, Another Rally, and Portland Cocktail Week. If you want to see more Marvelous Monday classes like this one, follow Portland Cocktail Week on Facebook page. We have new classes on weekdays and an archive of our past classes in the video tab here. And we're posting these videos on YouTube as well for folks who aren't on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, so you can find out what's coming up next there. So tune in next Monday because we have something marvelous and special for you, like maybe a sneak peek of the Kettle One Distillery. Anyway, we will see us same time, same marvelous day. And you know why? Because this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Bye, guys.